Broke your nerves.
Just keep looking. He's not going to cut it on. Oh, there it is.
Yes, Brandon. Keep looking. Yes.
You always do when I'm distracted.
Keep looking at this. I personally wait for you to do something because it just takes a split second.
I know. At least he'll give me this.
No, not getting no. You want everything to be completely live and authentic. I tell you what's more authentic: the fact that the red light is on, which means we are back, good brothers, for another episode of the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. We have a lot to get into today. We are fresh off the heels of WWE Summerslam 2024 in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to answer the question: one, was SummerSlam worth the hype? Also, we got to attack some rumors. We don't usually do this, but hey, listen, there's a few things we need to have a conversation about. Not to mention, we have to answer a very, very important question, which is, who is the face of WWE? But not only that, we are also here to celebrate our good brother, Brian H., on his birthday. All that and more. Not to mention, we got our good friend LA Knight joining us once again. Here we go. That's good.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!
What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
That ooh was muffled. It's okay. I'll take it. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, follow us on all social media platforms at the Wrestling Realm, on Instagram, Threads, X, and Facebook at the Wrestling Realm. Like and subscribe and engage in the conversation with us. You can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm. You can download our audio content on Spotify and watch and subscribe to our Twitch channel at the Wrestling Realm. I am your host, the big man, the big dog, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm really not all those things, but I am the realness, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host for the Hugh. Super producer has a third, E to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R, Liberty in the building today, and he is your host, not just any guy, but the Belt King, the guy, Brandon, the guy in the building, and he is your host. It is his birthday today, as we will celebrate Hollywood. Brian H. Waters in the building today. Psych, he is not here, but it's okay though, because we are joined also by our good friend LA Knight once again. So as you can see, we're in good company. Well, and speaking of good company, be in good company by heading to WrestlingRealm.com. Yes, for all our t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more, you can do so. So if you want to support the brand, if you want to be a pro wrestling fan, head over to WrestlingRealm.com. Now, good brothers, this is where I do a brief pause because I've been saying it for weeks. I've been saying it for a while now. I said at some point we're going to start doing live unboxings of some of the merchandise that you can get on the WrestlingRealm.com. And guess what, good brothers?
What's that?
Today is the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear the noise, Brian H. Sorry. He's not going to like that. If you want to head over to the WrestlingRealm.com, you can get this Monday Night Raw inspired Wrestling Room t-shirt. I can't even see it. Can you guys see it? Can the people see it? Okay. So those who are listening.
Oh yeah, that's some nice colors. Red, black, and white.
T-shirt. It is the Wrestling Room Monday Night Raw classic 90s early era Monday Night Raw t-shirt. Designed by me. Yes. And you can get this t-shirt now at thewrestlingrealm.com. So this t-shirt, hoodies, mugs, and more, so much to come. So, but this is a good start. So we have a lot of merchandise. We have a lot of things in the works, and we are working diligently to continue to do so. So once again, You want to support the brand, you want to buy some merchandise, that head over to wrestlingrealm.com. But if it's not merchandise you're looking for, and it's extra content, reading material, and much more, head over to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm for all exclusive shows and bonus material. We have a lot coming down the pipeline, but be patient. But you can subscribe for, somebody say the line,
$1.
$1.
Just pay the one. Pay the one.
Pay the one. You can subscribe for just as low as $1 and be a patron. So shout out to all those who are already subscribed to our Patreon channel and then is enjoying like exclusive bonus material. Not to mention, I took something that used to be in a Patreon channel, gentlemen, and I posted it to our YouTube channel. Have you guys looked? They don't know what it is. It's okay. But like I said, patreon.com/the_wrestling_realm for exclusive shows and bonus material. Now, guess what? SummerSlam may be over, but I know wrestling is coming to a town near you. The seasons change, but wrestling does not. So we have partnered with SeatGeek and we have our own promo code. So if you have never used this code before, do yourself a favor and save yourself $20 on any one-time purchase of $50 or more using SeatGeek. I personally like SeatGeek. It's quick, it's efficient, not to mention they like us too. So use promo code Wrestling Realm. If you've used one free promo code, well, just do yourself a favor and sign up with a different email address and save yourself another $20 if you buy more than one ticket. That's most likely going to cost you $50 or more. So thank you to SeatGeek for partnering with us. We're loving our partnership, and shout out to everyone who has reached back out to us and told us that they have used the promo code, because we get a notification and we get a slight kickback from it. So we definitely appreciate that. So once again, SeatGeek.com, using promo code Wrestling Realm, save yourself $20 on any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Now, if you want to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, you can do so. So contact us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. We will give you a list of rates and we'll do some negotiating. If you guys are a good fit, hey, let's do business together. So once again, if you want to advertise with the Wrestling Realm, you can do so by contacting us at wrestlingrealm@gmail.com. And don't forget to put the word advertise in the subject line so we know exactly what it is and why you are reaching out to us. So with that being said, you know what time it is. Championship Culture Season 2 is just about wounded down. I don't know, wounded is a word, but
it works today.
Season 2 of Championship Culture was an absolute whirlwind, and you need to do yourself a solid and go to youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm and check playlist Championship Culture. And we got to get you guys another playlist so we can separate the season so people can go directly to Season 2 and go back and watch Season 1 if you haven't seen it. If you didn't catch up on Season 1, guess what? You can officially binge Season 2. What a crazy season. I was a part of the majority of it, and guess what? I have a new championship belt to prove it. I'm officially a trios champion for all of my contributions to this wonderful new brand that has graced its presence to the Wrestling Realm, because Brother Hugh was one of them. And it's time. There we go. Look at that thing.
Did it say bow?
Look at that.
There it is.
That's
TRDA brands. Oh, it's on a belt. Look at that. Look at that go. Is that the first belt with it on there?
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry for the noise.
So is the first belt? Yeah. Where was the other belt coming from?
I was asking a question. Is that the first belt with TRDA on it? Not making a statement. That was a question. That was a question.
That's really not a question. That's, you knew the answer. Of course.
You can't trust me. You can't trust me. You can't trust me.
Are you kidding me? But yeah,
I don't know why you can't trust me.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about now that we're getting to the end? It was, I don't want to say it was overwhelming. It was intense. Championship Culture just continues to ascend to the stratosphere. The brand is growing. The audience is growing. Brandon's championship belt collection, along with Brother Hughes, is growing because Brother Hughes think he's slick. I'm saying new belts every week and stuff. Brandon's always doing trying to put different stuff. Hold on, let me take a look at his background real quick, making sure he didn't slide nothing else back. See, I only see those two rows, but so much is going on with Championship Culture. But can you guys talk about your experience just real quick about this? There we go. See, that's okay. We see stuff. X Division up there. All right, okay.
But you knew about the X Division. I just want to make sure you knew where it was. It's above the red one.
So. I need to see it. No, my question to you. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys talk about this first. I'm about to ask a belt question. Let me slow down. talk about season 2, what you guys thought about it, how much fun did you have, and give people kind of a bit of a tidbit of what's next. Because I'm not saying that season 2 is necessarily over. I don't know for sure, but I do know that you guys have a lot coming down the pipeline as well. But I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to kind of let the audience knows, let your fans know what's going on with season 2. So how do you feel about it, and what's next? What's next for Championship Culture?
Well, I felt like it did his job. That's for sure. It hits you right in the mouth. We came at you with some good content, and it seems like y'all liked it, and I appreciate y'all for checking us out and supporting us. For sure.
So I can tell you this about. I figured that's all. He was going to keep it short and sweet because he wants me to break it. He wants me to. Everybody has a story. So season 2, 90% of the shows were live. 90% had interaction with those that are making Championship Culture possible. If it wasn't for our guests and everybody that tuned in every week to these comments, we would not have been able to have a successful season 2 and motivation for season 3. We said it before. Season 3 will be here before you know it. We want to give you a chance to catch up on all this great content. We want you to go back and watch The Realness finish his story with a double turn, and also see some different takes on some championship belts, because we say everybody has a story, and we truly mean it in this season. In season 3, you talking about everybody has a story, you're gonna be like, wow, it does have a story. Because guess what? There's much more to come. There's much more championships, and I keep saying it. There's a side of the room you haven't even seen yet, but we're gonna keep that.
I can vouch for that.
Did you say, oh, yeah? And there's stuff at other places. I mean, there's cases over there, but we ain't gonna talk about what's over there. But you might see this every week. But just wait for season 3. We got a lot of things in store, and when we tell them, it'll be here before they know it, right?
Yeah. Keep your eyes open.
Stay tuned to our socials. Make sure you follow us at Championship Culture _ on Instagram, because trust me, we will follow back. And we do some things too. We accept invitations and go on other shows and talk about belts. Sometimes we educate some people, and sometimes we learn some things ourselves. So at any time, trust and believe. You don't know where you're gonna see them Championship Culture boys.
Don't leave that out. We also design belts.
This beauty right here.
So if you're looking for some, let us know. We can help you out with it. For sure.
Well, that beauty above you, this dual plated masterpiece. But I'm gonna just say this.
Nickname, the dual plated masterpiece. Look at that.
Right.
That was sharp. That just rolled off the tongue, didn't it? The dual-plated masterpiece.
So, it's crazy because I've been thinking of that's what it's the name going to be, because we got the Intergalactic, the double wing, and now the dual-plated masterpiece. Those are my 3 custom belts. But, be on the lookout for more stuff from Championship Culture. Be on the lookout for the premiere, we're going to call it, of season 3. But if you get bored, tune into those season 1 and season 2. And if you want to be a guest on the show, reach out to Championship Culture _ and let's talk. And let's see if we can make that happen. That's how some of our guests wound up on the show last time. Believe it or not, they reached out, and guess what? We made it work. Trust me. We could talk about belts all day because every belt has a story.
That's true.
It really does.
Well,
people acknowledge that. People made that known at in Baltimore, right? Down in at the stadium, right? At the arena, right? On Raw.
Absolutely. Listen, it's something about when the Championship Culture boys are outside with a belt. It's so many eyes on us, and everybody keep looking at us like,
you think?
I'm like, you don't want to say. And I will say this: if you ever see Hugh, he commands all the attention because everybody turns and look. People were getting out of his way, but they were just pushing me out the way. They was like, "Move, he's coming through." And it was actually pretty funny because
it's not the first time, and I'm sure
it's not the first time. That's his MO. He just commands the attention. I'd be like, well, dang, okay. Even when he was eating a hot dog, people was coming up to him.
Wow.
You thought you was going to huh? Absolutely. Destroying
it. Crab mac and cheese. I had
he was with the belt around his waist.
with the belt around my waist.
The whole time.
Fresh.
See, I was down there parlaying in Baltimore. we will
Mhm.
get to that and more as we kind of get this show started, because I'm curious to see what you guys got into. Monday Night Raw was in our hometown this past week, so it's
Yes, sir.
and the championship culture boys were in the building. So
Mhm.
I got a lot of compliments for our city putting on sold out arena. They said it was one of the best Raws that was just on TV and in general, and of course
Yeah.
another historic moment, full circle for the Wyatt Six, and the debut. I didn't realize that the Wyatt family debuted in Baltimore
Me neither.
all that time ago. So it was a special moment. I'm glad you guys had a chance to go and enjoy yourselves. But I think it's
You know
time
what
for
else is
us to
special?
get. Say what?
You know what else is special?
What's that?
Today, because it's your boy's birthday. We'll throw that joint on right there. We'll throw a little confetti. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, Brian.
How we make the
Let's
fireworks? How you make the
let's
fireworks?
get right into it. We
Oh,
have
there
a
we go.
birthday.
Just hold
Ladies
it
and
up. There you go. Ooh.
This
For
thing is
those
small.
that
Good
don't
lord.
know, today
I did not
is
think this through. I gotta clean up all this confetti now.
no,
God,
it's
oh well.
a
The
celebration.
fact that
Another one.
Then he said
It is
bow.
Hollywood. Brian H's birthday today, which is why
There
he
we
is
go.
not here today.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost,
Party.
let us just go ahead and just wish our good brother a very, very special and very wrestling rum happy birthday to the founder of Brian H. Waters, aka Primetime B Dub, aka Mr. Wonderful B Dub. I'm bringing all his names back. All these names. Look at this.
Main
It is his
event.
birthday today.
The
And
main
good brother
event.
here to one, wish you a happy birthday, all that and more, but we are here to kind of roast you as well. So, Brian
Oh.
H., happy birthday to you. But guess what, brothers? We're going to take a stroll down memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
There we are.
Hello, buddy.
This is a small breakdown of Brian H's history. Ooh, from almost
Oh,
every era of the wrestling realm in some way, shape, or form of Brian H. and his years and
the
years of doing it.
the sunglasses though. That was
You see it? You see
the
it?
sunglasses. Oh man.
That's full model mode right there.
Yeah.
Proud wrestling fan with the sun. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For
Brian
those,
H. Waters. His shirt was screaming at you.
I told him well.
the only thing I'm upset about when I put this collage together, Brian H. and all these eras of the wrestling realm, is I was upset about the fact that I couldn't find the picture of him and Brandon wearing his blackout shirt, and I couldn't find the picture of Brother Hugh and Brian H. at the Hall of Fame suited and booted, like they was about to walk the red carpet. But I feel like I got a good mix of everything that you have
you
here.
didn't put the you didn't put the RCW picture up there either.
Nope, I couldn't. I was
With the
digging
purple
like I
and gray
was rushing.
shirts.
But like I
should have
said,
found it
it
and
was
sent it to you.
the problem was I was in the middle, you were on one side, and Brian was on the other side, and I couldn't piece it together. But it's okay because guess what? Brian H is another year older, and there's only one way. To celebrate a man getting older. So, like I said, with that being said, Brian H, this is your life. We celebrate you today. We appreciate all that you've done. And now we're going to share some of our favorite memories from Brian H's history. Brothers, we've known Brian H for a long time collectively between the three of us. Three different eras of Brian H. Brother Hugh has known him since he was a child. Brother Brandon, you've known him since he was a teenager. And me, he was old when I met him, but he came back to college. Like, no. I met him as a young adult. And we are here to talk about his birthday, his impact, what he has done while we let this Sanford Sun beat play in the background for just a little while longer. We're probably going to get flagged for this. Okay. It was worth it to hit an old Sanford Baltimore Club mix, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, we're here to celebrate Brian H. Good brothers. Brother Hugh, Brother Brandon. Let's talk about a little bit of Brian H. You guys want to talk about your first time meeting Brian H or something funny, or what's your favorite Brian H story as we celebrate him today on his birthday?
Go ahead, Hugh,
I,
because
re-
you do
I
them.
remember.
Look,
I remember. I remember the first time we interacted. Um,
Okay.
we went to this private school called SLF. I'm not going to say the whole name out. It's no longer going on now. But it
Goddamn
was sixth
archdiocese
grade.
shut.
I know, right? Sixth grade. One of the two brothers, or was it three at that time? I think it was two. Anyway, walked in. He was so happy to see another black person. I'm not gonna lie, another brother. Walked right on
Damn,
over, and we
that's rough.
clicked instantly. Oh, you like baseball? Yeah, I like baseball. Okay, who's your favorite player? We both say Ken Griffey Jr. right off the bat. All right, so we
Duh.
connected with that. Then next thing you know, we get to talking about wrestling. Oh, you like
Mhm.
wrestling? Brian went crazy. We've been tight ever since. Seriously, that's exactly how I went. We did
See,
projects
boys are
together.
so
We did everything together. We did everything together. And that's literally it.
men are so simple. That's how
That's it.
lifelong lasting relationships are created. What
Hmm.
about you, brother Brandon? What was
He's
your?
been a gump ever since.
I was laughing when you was like, "Happy birthday to the Gumpiest of Gumps" or something. Oh, this
The
made me realize,
gumpiest, the gumpiest gump of all the gumps.
yeah, the Gump of all Gumps. But
oh
brother
Gumpy
Brandon,
McGee.
my God. So I think I've told this story before on the air, but I'm gonna try
I say
to
Gumpy McGee, man.
the Gumpy. I hate him. First time I met Brian H. Waters was in 2000. It was my senior year at City. And if you
Mhm.
know anything about City, they make you take certain classes. Well,
Yep.
somehow I made it always my senior year without having gym. And I was the only person that was not a freshman in this class. It might have been 746 students in gym this seventh period, and I was the only one not a freshman. And so, of course, I don't know anybody because, the upperclassman mentality. I got my ring and everything, and I'm just sitting there in the bleachers, and it's these group of guys who I found out who they were later, but, the person who's never met a stranger, as he's been dubbed, was talking about wrestling. So, of course, I made a comment about it, and he turned and was like, "Oh, you like wrestling?" Lo and behold, it became a big brother, little brother type feeling throughout City. And then it was next thing you know, he had my locker combination because we had lockers on every floor, because you had like a locker crew. And I would leave tapes in there and vice versa. And we would trade tapes, VHS, the thing that Michael Cole described to everybody on Raw. And that's how it grew. And it just never been stronger. But wrestling was yet again the common thing. And it wasn't for this freshman saying something to me as a senior, I probably would have been bored that whole quarter of just taking gym, being the only senior in that gym class.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You've heard that before. You know that.
Good old city.
Baltimore City College High School. Yes, to confuse some that's listening, I said Baltimore City College High School.
Yes. Yeah. 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 What was it? Black Knights? Not to
Mhm.
be confused with Polly.
It's totally different. Polly is a bird,
Okay.
a parrot.
Okay. No, but I'm
Have you ever
saying
seen it?
okay. All right.
I
Yeah.
thought they were
They better
Indians.
than they better than y'all though, right? That's what I hear, right? That's a better school.
I got rejected from both schools. So how about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. They said your math grades, you can't come here. I said, I can't. The public school? What are you saying? But, well, it's my turn. Let me tell you my story about Brian H. My favorite Brian H. story, I can't tell you on the air, but I can tell you this story.
But no, you
I
said
met
first time
Brian
you met him. We ain't talk about our favorite one because if you got to hit my favorite, that's going to have you in tears.
Oh,
I can't
God.
tell you my favorite Brian H. story. It's got to be for Rum After Dark. That might be a Patreon exclusive, but I got to get his permission first. I met Brian
801.
H. I was at we was at Morgan State University in communications class. I don't remember what class it was. I remember my teachers. Nah, I don't remember her name either. But it was a class we were in, and it was weird because one of those Brian H. was just coming back to school. He had left school and tried to work full time and realized he needed to go back and get his education for what he wanted to do. And I was just changing my major from like business, because usually you major in business when you don't know what the heck you want to do it yourself. No disrespect, brother. You or your brother Brandon. You guys got master's degrees. But I was like, okay, cool. So I got in his class, and first of all, I noticed. I said, this guy must have just came back to school because he's the only one that's got the book on the first day. See, the ones who are excited, like the broke college kids, you're not getting no books till that refund check comes in the mail.
Absolutely.
oh, I understand. Nobody's got the book yet. We're like, no, use fund checks and get dispersed yet. That's all I got. Bro, I got my book. I was like, oh, yeah, look at this guy. He just coming back. You can tell he's coming back to school because he's got his book on the first. But he was nice. He shared with me, and and he introduced him. Everybody had to do like intro or something in class, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm so and so, and I got a wrestling show called Wrestle Talk with Baron B Dub." And the girl Danny was like, "Who knew Brandon?" She's like, "Oh God, here you go, this wrestling stuff. Is this what you call this wrestling stuff?" And I was like, I was behind her. I said, "Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with the wrestling." He's like, "Yeah, man." I said, "You got a wrestling show?" And he pulled out a business card and he gave me his business card. It's like a Wrestle Talk with Baron B Dub. Now, if you ask me, he only ever had one business card, so he's not here to defend himself. So I can tell my side of the story. Like I said, bro, what happened to your business cards? He's like, I only had that one. I said, wait a minute, you only have one business card? Who does that? So he gave me his bit. I think I still have it somewhere. It said Russell Talk, YouTube.com. But I'm like, who only gets one business card? And where can you buy just one? So yeah, I said, yo, so I went and I checked it out. I watched a lot of stuff, and it was him and his cousin sitting in the kitchen with real low quality camera. But the conversation was there. It was plentiful. And I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So we came back to school the next day, and I was like, yeah, I watched your YouTube channel, man. This stuff was pretty cool. You got, all this stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah. So he was interested, and we were, we talked about it in class, and then we left class, and we literally was standing outside of the building. Like, he's supposed to be getting ready to go to work. I'm supposed to be going on whatever, being broke college kid as I was. And we just sit out there. We just start talking wrestling and just going through everything. So like the same way I say things like I've got notes, I kind of did the same thing. That's where it originated, is because I went back and gave him my thoughts on all the shows that he had done. And we had to have full-blown discussions about what was going on. And we would talk and it would just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And we were dissecting stuff on a level. And I was like, yo, you are quite intelligent of a wrestling fan. He's like, you know what? You are too. So we got to rapping. Mm-hmm. It was funny because I was interning at the station or in the department, and the guy had left, and he came back like, y'all are still out here? Like, he literally left with his car and came back. We were still out there talking wrestling. So it was from that moment on, it was like an endless that we've been talking about wrestling for the last 13 years or however long it's been. And the rest is history. So he was getting sick of his cousin. See, I'm putting all his business in the street now. He's not here. He was getting sick of his cousin on the show. And he was getting into trouble and all that kind of stuff. He's like, bro, I'm done with this dude. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm about to do my own thing. I'm about to, start bringing, different people onto the show and just have like guest hosts. I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds pretty cool. Cause he had his own, he had Wrestle Talk with Baron B Dub, but then he had like B Dub's thoughts. And there's footage of all of these things. I have it. It's very bad quality, but trust me, you will see it in a later project. So Brian H is, every week he's got somebody different. He goes, hey, listen, why don't you be on the show? And I was like, me on the show? I was like, oh man, wow. Yeah, I'm trying to play it cool because I've always been behind the camera. I was never in front of the camera. But I was still a character. But so I got on the show one day and we just kind of let it rip. But Chris, I have the episode. I watched it the other day and I was like, wow. I was on there trying to play it cool, trying to look cool and play cool at the same time, and instead of kind of just relaxing and letting loose. But I was on there, and then eventually he goes, yo, I think I'm ready. I'm done with this. But he's like, yo, why not? He kind of pitched this idea like, yo, we should do a show together. First of all, he didn't say it that way. You know how he did it. He did it in true Brian H fashion. Listen, I'm trying to tell you now.
Yo, let me tell you. Yeah, I think we should. Hey, you know what I was thinking? Yeah, we're gonna. How about we?
He's pitching and cutting the promo at the same time. He's pitching and he's cutting the promo at the same time. He's like, listen, there's no other man. There's no other person that can shut it down. I'm like, bro, what do you? I'm trying to figure out. We are just getting to know each other. So I'm trying. Why is he winding up like this? I'm trying to tell you, there's nobody that's been better than the show. There's only one man that can fill that spot that's ever been done. I've never had this cut. And I'm just sitting like, okay, all right, let's see where this goes. And they just starts going, we need to do our own show. We got to do it. Me and you, we got to make this happen. I'm like, you think we could do this? Like, you kind of already have an audience with Barry Big Dub. That's old news. It's old news. We got to do something new. So I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because he kind of had heat with his cousin for a little bit because his cousin was in trouble. And his cousin would like try to pop back up whenever he was done getting in trouble. Like, yeah, so when we gonna do the next, And Brian had to be like, nah, bro, ain't no more shows. It's over. Kick you to the curb. I got a new guy in town. And that was the beginning of it. So it took us a while to figure things out. And then eventually he goes, we were pitching names like, yo, how do we like, we need this, we need our own space, bro. We need our own, we need our own realm of wrestling. He's like, I got it. That's it. He said, the wrestling realm. That's what it is. And I was like, no, not just the wrestling realm. Wrestling Rumble will spell it with a W. and that was the birth of the wrestling realm. We had multiple production meetings, trying to map it out because we had no idea how it was going to look. We had no idea what we were going to do. We had no idea how we was going to. We knew the chunk of it, the meat and potatoes. We were going to sit, talk wrestling, break down particular subjects, and just try to help people understand and educate them and kind of look cool doing it. So we had a couple of production meetings. We had a guy that was working with us. I ended up calling him a corporate fat cat because this guy was trying to come in there. First of all, this dude was trying to take over the brand before it got started. This guy was trying to charge us like $400 to do graphic design, where he was like trying to be our manager. He's like, oh yeah, it's going to cost us $400 to get a website. And of course my piece. And I'm like, yo, who the heck is this dude, Brian, that you brought in here to do this? It was this guy that Brian H had met, because Brian H never met a stranger. Absolutely. And this dude's telling us what we should do and stuff like that. And we left the library one day at Morgan. I was like, bro, screw that, man. We don't need this dude to help us, because we were trying to take it to the next level. And this is 2011-ish. This dude tried to rip us. This dude was trying to do all kind of stuff. And I was like, screw that. Come to my mama's house. I got a basement downstairs. We can set it up. We came down there and he was like, oh yeah, we don't got to do all that. I said, you kidding me? We got to dress the set. So I started putting all the wrestling belts on the wall, and he had brought over like a whole stack of wrestling magazines, old, and don't bring up wrestling magazines to Brian H because they're sensitive. Sorry, Brian H, when you go back and watch this. Sensitive subject right now. And so we put the magazines on the wall and set up the camera. And that's how the wrestling room got created. Season 1. So that's shout out to Brian H. He discovered me. He discovered this talent that I have. And then one day he went out of town. I took over this show, and I've been doing it ever since. So yeah, that's like I said, that was my Brian H story. If there's more wrinkles to that like I said, trust me, the story's going to come to life for a later project. It's been in the works for a long time. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to Brian H.
He's a cool fella. I mean, I don't like him most of the time, but he can be cool,
No, I get that vibe.
Every once in a while.
You want to hear a tidbit about that first show we did?
What's that?
So we get on the show, right? First thing I do, like my introduction to like the show, is I cut a promo on the dude who tried to screw us. And I went in. Like I was getting up from the table screaming in the camera. You just thought I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know what he does? He goes, all right, cut. Listen, man, I don't think we trying to make any enemies, man. But it was good, but that might be too much, man. I don't say what. So then we came back and did it again, and he went back and edited the show. He said, bro, I messed up. I should have never stopped you from cutting it. I should have just let you just put it all out there, because the first one was ridiculous, but then after that it didn't. Because I was like, crap, now I don't know what to say now. Because when I say I let into him, I let into this bastard. When I say I don't like to be cheated. He tried to cheat us, and I ripped into him. And I was like, oh, nah. But then that was just then Brian said, he's like, I will never try to hold you back ever again, for real. So shout out to Brian H. Happy birthday, sir. Only thing I regret that I'm pissed off about him, and I texted him the other day. I said, bro, why the heck you let me go all season 1 with my hat backwards like that? You knew that the footage was eventually going to be like I look crazy. If you see the season 1 and like half of season 2, I got my hat cocked to the side to the back, and I was like, bro, this is such a bad decision. I said, why the heck did you let me do that? Like, that's your fault. But yeah. So, like I said, once again, we say happy birthday to our good brother, Brian H., the pioneer, the man, the myth, the founder of the wrestling realm. Like I said, I wouldn't be here without guys like you. So I appreciate you, brother. We all appreciate you, and all the fans appreciate you. But there's that. That being said, brothers, let's move on. Now, usually we don't do this. We don't do this. We don't address rumors, right? That's not what we do. But there's a lot going on in our world that we have to address. And I'm like, let me ask the brothers about it, because this is something we have to kind of get to the bottom of. Still to come, we have, SummerSlam fallout. Was SummerSlam what it was supposed to be? Was it worth the hype? Also, we have to answer the question of who is now the face of the WWE. with some new recent developments that have transpired at SummerSlam with the return of the tribal chief, the only tribal chief, the original tribal chief, the one tribal chief. I don't know, just throw many O's as you want in there. No drugs though. Into that situation. But we will get to that and more. Look, Brandon can't take it. He's over it. But we have to. We gotta
try to say OTC means over the counter.
I'm just saying though. You said that. See, that's I didn't say over the counter.
You said no drugs. I was like over the counter. No drugs.
So yeah. There's no drugs. No drugs at all.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence.
Let's broaden our minds. So,
Oh my God.
a couple things going down. Let's address these rumors before we get into the SummerSlam fallout and before we answer the biggest question on the list of who is the face of WWE. But, gentlemen, some recent developments have happened, and these seem a little odd, but there's no better place to talk about it than here on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. So, with that being said, let's jump into some of these rumors. Where do you guys want to start? Let's start off kind of light. Shane McMahon and Tony Khan having a meeting, AEW. People tried to make a thing about this. It seemed very manufactured. It seemed very attention grabbing as far as headlines are concerned. Brother Hugh, you're killing me with that birthday hat on your head still. I just he's the hat going like that. It's thrown me off. I'm sorry. Tony Khan having a meeting with Shane McMahon. Now, Tony Khan has gone on the record and said, look, it was just a little consultation. We just talked and, we shared our, experiences with being in the wrestling business and working with family and business and the highs and the lows and stuff like that. But, of course, wrestling fans and our audience is going to feed into it and make something more of it. Let's play devil's advocate. Shane McMahon potentially showing up in AEW for whatever reason. Is it really necessary? Is it too little, too late? How do you guys feel about at this point? You know what I mean? At this late in the game, Shane McMahon potentially having some type of working relationship with AEW. Does it make sense? Is it something that seems realistic? Is this something we should really pay attention to that we could really consider as like, hey, this is a thing of actually happening?
To be honest, I don't care.
Oh, Lord. Well, how about this? Tell us why you don't care, Brother Hugh, because that's kind of what I'm alluding to.
I mean, it is what it is. Shane, he's been a free man for a while now. He's been doing his own thing anyway. So, I mean, why not go, if you want to get back into the wrestling industry, why not go to AEW? That's the opportunity for you. You don't have to necessarily go back to the E.
Brother Hugh.
I know it's a new era, but
what opportunity? What is he going to do? What is he there for? Like, what is
just
Shane
another opportunity?
He keeps
just
saying
another opportunity to be back in the spotlight. Just to be back in the wrestling business. That's it. I don't know what angle they're gonna go with it, but maybe he comes in as some type of authority figure or I don't know. But to be honest, like I said, I don't really care. I was done with Shane for a minute.
Is this realistic?
I don't want to see him. It probably is realistic, honestly.
Okay. Right.
To be honest, yeah.
Is there any merit to this whole situation? Does this make a difference? Shane McMahon to AEW, like, does this really make sense?
Well, you actually Hugh or me? Because I think it's
the Brandon.
Yeah, so go ahead here, because I'm gonna say one thing about this.
Well, he was already going and talking like he just finished up his point.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this. I agree 100% with Hugh. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because Tony Khan hasn't given me a chance to care about AEW. Like, you keep doing these things to draw our attention over when, here we go again, Willow has another world championship and not your championship, and she's fighting on your TV with another world title that's not the company that she works for primarily. But you go and do this to grab my attention. It's not going to make me tune in anymore. It's not going to make me Google who Shane McMahon is because he's a McMahon. And I don't trust this. Like, he probably just, maybe he needed a solid. We don't know what. First off, I don't even care why he's talking to Shane McMahon. The fact that this photo leaked and then Mercedes was like, ooh, I shared it or something like that. okay, your 3-week push is over. Go sit in the back like everybody else at AEW do.
Yeah,
This
kinda.
is talked about for a week now. Who cares? Do something else, Tony, to make us say, oh, well, you still got a whole locker room full of people. Never mind. Go to another another wrestling promotion. Bring those people in and make us forget about the people that we should be caring about at AEW. I don't care that he was talking to Shane McMahon. It's not going to make me tune in to Collision, Dynamite, or even pay for ROH subscription. It's not.
Okay. All right.
The only
Fair
good
enough.
thing about it is that they got people talking about his company. That's it.
For this much.
I mean,
That's it.
I mean,
It's going to be over.
That's
Is
it.
it really a good thing? But
I mean,
There's some clicks. There's some clicks.
Yeah,
Because the video it got shared,
right.
and what was it? One day, all YouTube was like, "Oh my gosh, Shane McMahon to AEW," and now what are they talking about? Roman Reigns returns.
Staying the same pretty low around there. But
I feel like he's doing it as a kind of like a little slap in the face to the WWE, but it doesn't really matter because he's not really associated with the WWE.
He's like, I can't win, but I'm just going to cause problems in the meantime. Like that's the type vibe I'm getting from it.
Yeah. What would have been crazier, and I'm gonna just say this: you already ruined it with Eric Bischoff, who's synonymous with WCW. We know Eric Bischoff is going to do something. You have a whole Jeff Jarrett right there, who was synonymous with TNA. So you go with somebody who has been a B player in the #1 wrestling company, and when I say B player, Stephanie has always trumped him on screen.
You mean not Triple H.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but the McMahons, like, Stephanie, if you compare Stephanie and Shane, you're probably going to remember more moments that Stephanie was front and center out. You're going to remember Shane falling off stuff, right? So you go get that one. You would have been better off getting Linda McMahon at this point because it's going to have the same level of, oh, okay, moving on.
Wow. Well, that's speaking of moving on, let's see if this tickles your fancy. Brother Brandon, there's rumors that the Motor City Machine Guns may be headed to WWE. My question, is this too little too late? And why is WWE trying to bring in veteran tag teams when, don't get me wrong, Triple H has done a pretty solid job with trying to make tag teams kind of relevant and important, but it's not like tag team wrestling is still front and center anywhere. You know what I mean? We just watched DIY lose the tag teams. They didn't lose to the Bloodline. They lost to a storyline. We need the tag titles for this angle. So just hold off. We're gonna. You see what I'm saying? It's not a focal point. That's why FTR was so mad at WWE when they left. They're like, no, we want.
Is that the same thing with the Judgment Day?
Well, not really. Well,
that's why they got the belts because it was the storyline. Yeah, they got it because of the storyline.
Well, what's he like? R-Truth and Miz really weren't. They're the odd couple. There's two. There's an archetype. There's always real tag teams, and then there's the odd couples, and that those are two type of tag teams that you're gonna run into in professional wrestling. One is to it might be about the individuals. Like for instance, Daniel Bryan and Kane. That was keeping Daniel Bryan relevant after his run. You know what I mean? And he had a second that kept him alive. It wasn't because they were an excellent tag team. It's because they, it was the dynamic between the two. We saw a commercial with him and Kane, yes and no. Team hell no. You know what I mean?
Right.
X-Pac and Kane, same thing. Two got completely guys, but it works. That's the odd couple thing, or the bitter enemies now tag team champions. They always do. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold to face off at WrestleMania 14, but they're gonna have a tag title run. Undertaker and Austin have a match at SummerSlam 98, but they have a tag title, that type of thing, right? But Motor City Machine Guns, they're not no spring chickens. They're a veteran tag team. Now, if you ask me, you bring in veteran tag teams, one, because they're established brands, and two, to help develop young talent and give more options to work with. Now, there's two ways of looking at this, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Triple H trying to reload up on, because like I said, you got my boys over there. I'm not too satisfied with what they got going on, but they keep reassuring me as a fan, we just gotta wait our turn because we know once the Rockets get strapped, it's gonna be off. So I don't know if there's gonna be a resurgence of tag team wrestling somewhere. They're just not ready for it right now. And they're like, look, let's load up so we can put a thing to it. Or it just sometimes you just want veterans on their roster to, hey, maybe they got a bunch of young tag teams and they need established brands to work with to put them over, whatever the case may be. So, Brother Brandon, as a man that has a championship belt that got signed in the middle of the X, which was disrespectful in my opinion, and they completely disrespected you. How do you feel about your former favorite tag team potentially at this stages in their careers? Because I don't want to call them old. I'm going to call them veterans. Just now talking about potentially going over to WWE and to do exactly what? Is there any truth to this rumor? Do you think it makes sense?
So I'm gonna say this because they haven't jumped to AEW. I believe there's truth to it because they realize I can't go to AEW because my career is going to be over.
You get blackballed,
and there is no place for me in AEW. And I hate
like New Japan Strong right now. I think.
Yep, and I think what happened to them, and I'm just going to say veteran tag teams, right? Because the Raw and SmackDown roster is stacked with the mixed bag of tag teams, the two people coming together, and established tag teams. NXT has a lot of new tag teams. They have the NIL people that need these veterans. The Good Brothers can't do it by themselves because you can't have them lose to every person on the roster. And look at their current champions. They were, before Axiom and Nathan Frazier, it was Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. So now NXT is in a spot where it's like, okay, Shawn Michaels has figured out how to rotate the entire roster every week in some way, shape, or form. And if you look at yesterday's Great American Bash, it's back to that, wait a minute, who's these people? Who's this person? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Even though they had a mass tag talent, call up, I think that this is going to be the way because let's actually look at Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Do they not look like people that you would see on CW?
Yeah,
just look at them. So
giving off CW vibes. So you're convinced that this is an NXT thing because you're,
and I think so.
About the main roster. Okay.
And the only reason I'm saying that because the way NXT is being booked now and the way it looks like they're pushing for the future, they're going to make it that. And I forgot who said it. It was like, this is the first time WWE will not be on regular TV. It's going to be on a cable network and 2 streaming services. So what better way to appeal to anybody of having a highlight reel of the Motor City Machine Guns and then tuning in to watch them on Tuesday nights? You put them on NXT with still that potential that you can bring them to Raw and SmackDown if needed.
True.
But the thing with them, you have 2 established bona fide single stars that can be a great tag team and could do everything for the competition. Think back to when they first formed. Some of the best matches in TNA came from these 2 guys as a tag team.
Yeah. These guys were pioneers of the X division.
And I think the only reason they didn't come to WWE the first time when they should have, because they had unfinished business, as in Alex Shelley needed their world title in TNA. So that's the only reason I believe that they signed, because TNA needed them at the time. They needed established people to rebuild and reestablish and familiar faces. And think about how much we got behind Alex Shelley when he won. How much we get behind Chris Sabin when he's X Division champion. That's his home. When you think about the X Division, of course you say AJ, but then you have to say Chris Sabin. Like
he was there first. Like he was the head honcho for a while before AJ took, because AJ was in the main event thing for a long time.
And then he won the X Division, then he went to the main event, then he always came back. But I will say this, I think that this is a NXT grab, and as far as a global appeal, who better to have on a global appeal on a traveling show if NXT starts traveling than these 2 guys? They're going to draw. Are they going to draw Raw and SmackDown? Yeah, they're going to draw the NXT audience because let's call it what it is. They're 41 and 42. They don't look like it. They don't move like it. They can still appeal. The music is going to be, if they let them run with that Motor City Machine Gun gimmick, people will be like, oh, I can see this guy. Who are these guys? Especially their partnership with TNA, they can have the footage and show who they were. And they can still float to TNA if needed be.
True. Yeah. You sound like you're excited. Do you agree with him, brother Hugh?
Hey, he said it. He said it all right there. I was
Definitely
going to say
did.
it's going to be
That was thorough.
similar to what I was thinking, like similar to what maybe the Hardys are going to do later on down the line. Show up in NXT and basically just help these young cats develop. That's it.
They might do something crazy like Motor Machine Guns versus the Hardys versus the Good Brothers. Book it. Speaking of tag teams,
why not?
I was just saying, you forgot one. Add it in. Come on with it, because I want to say something about this one.
Speaking of tag teams, there's another rumor going around saying, hey, the Lucha Brothers are I don't know what happened. It was supposed to be a match or something set up, and it turns out
The
that
trios match, and they changed it.
Yes, they have
all in.
rumored they're like letting their contracts run out and not re-signing with AEW. What's that about? Lucha Brothers finally getting to that level where they're like, yo, we need them now. First of all, I'm assuming like the toy people said, please sign the Lucha Brothers because we're gonna. First of all, what they do is the kids are gonna go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are going to
go all the merch.
And I know I talked a lot about. I know I talked about the Motor City Machine Guns, but I just got to say one thing. Knit Ray from four sides of the ring made me appreciate these guys more because when you watch lucha style wrestling, they have a different rule set. That's why sometimes they look like they're breaking the rules because they probably forget where they're at. Like, oh, shoot, wrong set of rules. And I was like, that makes so much sense because like when they do things like they don't have to tag in and out, how they slide in and out of the ring, they have different set of rules. And I was like, I never thought about that. That makes sense. And let's call it what it is. Ray Phoenix and Penta are probably arguably the best luchas to be doing it at this time.
Oh yeah, and, on both sides of the fence, as far as commercial appeal and
that's what I was going to get. And think about this: you got a Rey Mysterio, you got Dragon Lee, who kind of disappeared. Like we ain't talking about that. Yeah, and you got
a repackage and a repush.
I mean, he kind of disappeared, but you have all of those luchas that they can work with as the tune-up matches, but you could put them straight to a title match. Now, these are the guys I would say put on Raw or SmackDown, not NXT, but Absolutely. NXT wouldn't hurt them either. NXT wouldn't, but they would outshine a lot of things happening in NXT.
Yeah, no doubt. But Pentagon is a certified main eventer. So, like, to me, I'm impressed with him because I've watched him work almost every style, which is wild. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's like, I've always been familiar with him. Like, just even throughout, because he has a unique look, and I'm like, man, I've seen him work main event. I've seen him work lucha style. I've seen him work tag matches. He just a ball of talent. So, you about to say something else about that?
Yeah, I was saying Ray is only 33 years old. Ray Phoenix is only 30.
Oh yeah, these young dudes. And then Pentagon lost all that weight, so he's in excellent shape now. But it makes sense.
Oh, he don't even look the same, do it.
When guys, no, he doesn't look. I'm using him being kind of beefy, but he's very lean now. I don't know how I feel about lean Pentagon, but he's usually when guys start getting in shape, you kind of know what that's like. They gearing up for something. Drew did the same thing when he left TNA. We left Impact. You know, Bobby Lashley was he was always pretty jacked, but you know, certain guys they start getting themselves in shape. You know, look at Jacob Fatu for one. Everybody starts getting. CM Punk was kind of doughy and skinny when he came to AEW, wearing pants and stuff. By the time you see him at Summerslam, he looked pretty jacked. But the last rumor we are going to address, good brothers, as we move on, but we're trucking along, is, and like I said, I don't know if there's any merit to any of these things or not, but it caught my attention. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes, and I automatically changed. I said, nope.
There's rumors that they're trying to go back to the World Wrestling Federation, to the WWF. I was like, come on, man. Come on.
I think Triple H is leaking something to see who's going to leak stuff.
How do you guys feel?
There's no way.
After all
we
this
don't
time?
Need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it. We don't need it.
Not waiting.
No, because think about it. We know why TNA became Impact. But then when they reverted back, it was because Impact never really worked as a name. Let's call it what it is.
It was always TNA. We knew it.
We always kept calling it. But WWE did something very smart, and they was like, get the F out, right? And it's been World Wrestling Entertainment with emphasis on the entertainment, and that is almost a global brand. And why would we go back to the Federation and entertainment? It's just one, more marketable. Two, it makes more sense. And three, the amount of merchandise that is out there, like just think about the belts with all these sports teams.
Get new belts.
Yeah, but I was like, you really think now what they could do is say, oh, we got the F name back to be able to put it on the belts and a retro aspect of it to do that. So that might be the conversation. Yes, they could resell all the Big Eagles, the Wing Eagles, the tag belts, all of those with the F on it. Yes, block logo, scratch logo. It probably would sell immediately. You want to make $1 billion? Put the F back on stuff, even the T-shirts. You know, little things like that.
They sell a Big Eagle and they put a freaking WWF on it. I'm in there like swimwear.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm 100%.
How do you feel, brother Hugh? When I saw it, I was like, come on, man, this is too late. Don't do this now. Like,
we don't need it.
I mean, yeah, I don't think we need it right now because it's a new era.
yeah,
We've
big
been
time.
doing good with the entertainment factor or the portion of it. Just stick with the WWE portion of it. It just makes sense right now for what you have going on. Um, it's just leave that in the past. Leave it in the past. Now the only good thing is, like Brandon said, maybe you can sell some old stuff. But other
There
than
you
that,
go.
just let it go. Let it go. That was his own era. That's nostalgia for us. Leave it there. Keep it moving with the clean logo like you have, and keep it
Yep.
pushing.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
It took a while for me to get used to that logo. I remember the year. You know how they
Right.
used to do the press conference and they used to announce it. I said, bro, what's wrong with the WWE logo? Like
Yeah.
and I was like, ew, bro, it's all skinny. But then, like I said, I'm used to it now. So yeah,
I just love
I
to
am,
get the F out campaign. That was
bro.
actually
You know
funny
how
to me.
pissed I was. I don't even want to talk about it.
That
I was
campaign
hurt,
was lovely.
bro. I was
I,
blown. I
I
said,
was
bro, what
hurt,
is
but I
this?
loved it.
I did not like change, but like I said, we got to change the subject because we just had to address these quick. Usually, like I say, usually we don't do this, but I was like, well, I gotta hear what they have to say about this. But yeah, who's ready to talk about SummerSlam? Huh?
Oh
Who's ready
yeah.
to get
Oh
into it?
my
Oh yeah.
gosh.
Oh
See,
my. Here
LA
we
Night
go.
agrees with you guys. Thank you, LA
Yeah.
Night.
That lean every time. That lean is killing
That
me.
third one, yeah.
SummerSlam this past Saturday, as of this recording, went off with a bang. But did it live up to the hype? Did it do what it was supposed to do? Did it accomplish what was necessary to move these things
Man,
to the next level? Gentlemen, how did you enjoy SummerSlam this year?
that thing was phenomenal. It went
Oh,
above
wow.
and
That's an
beyond.
AJ Styles term.
Yes. Every match hit. Every match was on point. Like the storylines, everything made sense, and it set up the next step in each storyline. Like it was just great. It was.
Had it still
I
thrown me
can't
off,
tell
brother.
you. Maybe the only beef I had with it was
Yeah.
during the Damian Priest match when Damian Priest pushed Gunther over near the rope so Finn could grab his leg. That's about it. That's the only bad portion of it that I saw.
Okay.
Other than that, everything was perfect. It was great.
Brother Brandon, how'd you feel about SummerSlam this year?
So have you ever watched Honest Trailers? When they were like the Honest Trailers, and I remember the one for Captain America Captain America the Winter Soldier, right? And it was like,
Yeah.
it's time for they was like, it was a good movie, but let's just nitpick. And they started nitpicking at little things about it. I
Sure.
feel
Yeah.
like this is that show that everybody could nitpick, but it's because we were 20 plus years, let's just say, in our adult life, right? We were conditioned one way. Now that Triple H is trying to break our mind, it's hard for us to sit back and enjoy the ride, right? And we feel like I think you had said like major pay-per-view sets up the next to get us to the next one, right? I feel like now the matches are setting us up for Monday, for Friday, for Monday again, for Friday. It's not setting me up to say, oh, we know we're going to get an automatic rematch next month.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get this, because it's so, when I say confusing, it's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I gotta tune in to see.
Right.
Everything about it changed. It makes you be okay. If you don't like something in that moment, watch the next pay-per-view and you'll be okay the next one. Because remember, I said it last month. I said it's going to be Sammy because they're not done with him. This was what they needed Sammy to do.
Yeah, you said it.
You know what I mean? Like, this is what LA Knight needed. Yeah, we might have said, oh, he should have got it last year instead of Logan Paul. But we needed this for LA Knight. We needed the Queen to win. And we got it wrong. We said the Queen or the King was going to win, and both of them won. Remember?
Yeah,
so it was kind of crazy.
Oh, they're both not
That
going
was
to win.
surprising.
It's not possible.
Yeah, we were like, not both of them. They're not one of them. But you needed that to further the story. So now, next year, how excited are we going to be for King of the Ring? How excited are we going to be for Queen of the Ring? How excited we're going to be for that match? We might be still excited for Money in the Bank, but we still going to have in the back of our mind, well, King of the Ring still, whoever gets, we got hope. If they don't win Money in the Bank, they can do this, or vice versa.
And
it's crazy. So I'm going to say the one thing that I'm going to nitpick on, one thing.
Sure. What you got?
Cody Raheem Rhodes match, I watched it waiting for the music to drop. I couldn't enjoy the match because I was like, oh, when's Roman
Fair
coming?
enough.
Oh, when somebody's coming. I felt like I was the anticipation of something happening threw
You
me
felt
off.
shenanigan in the atmosphere.
Yeah, especially when they announced Bloodline rules, I said, come on, Cody. Come on, Cody Raheem. You're already Cody Raheem. You don't need to add no extra stipulation. It's okay. Just go out there and have a match. And then it was like, all right, I'm a little tired of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming to save you. We know
No,
you're
I'm
your
not.
friends.
Don't do that. To my
I'm
boys.
tired of that.
Don't do that.
I'm tired of them coming to save him because of the shenanigans. But it's like I was watching, waiting for the music to hit, and I was so happy that we got the WrestleMania music. And
There you go.
That's. I was so happy we got the Wrestle. Weren't you happy you got the WrestleMania music?
I was ecstatic, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
screamed.
It made it that much more like impactful.
Mm-hmm.
The way he walked out, everybody's using his word aura now. Like
Yeah.
you felt it. It was there. Like
Mhm.
the presentation, the whole presentation was everything. Like he came out, he was kind of like he said on his t-shirt, he was in God mode. That's the way he was portrayed. So
Because
I
if
mean,
you watch those videos, how the crowd reacted, they lost their mind with that.
Oh, yeah, they went nuts, bro.
Oh, that music. Because I'm telling you, being in the building for Mania, when we saw them setting up the band, because I'm thinking it's going to be like last year when they had the pianos playing. I was like, but it was just bone chilling in a good way, like the goosebumps. Watching it live, and all I kept saying was, he has to come back with that music. I don't want his music was good. I don't want that old music. I want that one. And when that hit, it just fits so perfectly. So imagine on Friday when it hits and he comes out with his slow walk. Everybody's going to be waiting to see, is he going to point? What is he going to do? It's going to be an anticipation for that moment. So
Let's not waste any time because we're about to wrap this up because you guys have we can sit here and talk about SummerSlam some more. But it seems like the perfect time to dive in to the main event.
You didn't say your part. Oh, you're not getting no. You got to talk about what was your take on SummerSlam, sir?
Oh yeah, sure. I loved it. I felt like I was waiting for something else to happen. So I can definitely vibe with how you were feeling when you it was hard to enjoy certain parts because you were just waiting for it. But I got lost in the show, which is good. Like when you get lost, like it was never a situation where it was like, all right, bathroom break. All right, I've had my fair share. No, I was literally like from start to finish, like pretty locked in, which I thought was really good. And us being experienced wrestling fans, you kind of want that. To still have that feeling to be able to watch and enjoy from start to finish. Gunta and Damian Priest. I don't want to say they stole the show, but they were the most impressive. Like
That's what I was about to ask. Who stole?
I was like, yo, this
was good.
That was the question that we proposed that we posed for before the show. Like, well, which one of these is going to steal the show? And if you ask me, nothing overshadows Roman returning, obviously, which is that's the conflicting part for me. But as far as the match is concerned, I was like, man, now that Damian Priest has lost the title, all of a sudden, like just when he starts hitting his stride, now he's no longer champion. But I like
Did you see the documentary? My bad. I'm sorry. Did you see the documentary?
No. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm gonna tell you what I noticed about it since the documentary dropped. They're allowing him to be more of himself than this kind of dark Judgment Day character. Like this Judgment Day. Like now
they
he's
cut
like,
that out.
Bro, check this out. Yeah, like he's more and more like, look, man, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from New York. And I've been in the trenches. So guess what? I'm about to show you what the trenches is. If you could, and everybody's going crazy for this version of Damian Priest. And I'm like, he figured it out.
Did you see Monday Night Raw? Did you see Raw? Because when he came out, that music hit, and it didn't have the all Raws for the that little part. They cut that out.
He still got Judgment Day vibes to him right now because but him and Rhea Ripley, they're no longer heels, they're faces. That's why they're no longer considered part of it. And the crazy part is they still might be like, this might be some NWO stuff. Like, nah, I run the Judgment Day. We all watched Macho Man get excommunicated from the NWO, and he still convinced himself he was a leader. New Hollywood, I'm in charge of the NWO. Like, yo, you just tag team with Lex Luger, Sting, and the Giant on Nitro the other day. You talk about, I'm the leader of the NWO. So it might be that type thing because for now. But I'm noticing, like I said, I got to go back and watch his doc because now he's kind of opened up to his story. That side of him is coming out more. But I'm like, yo, this works for you, man. This is what people are responding to, especially as a face. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm happy for Damian Priest. I do have to apologize. I was very impatient with him, and it had been a while since we had this formula because it used to work. We gave guys a shot. We gave the CM Punks a shot. We gave the Jack Swaggers a shot. We give that sometimes that World Heavyweight Champion is like a developmental award champ. Let's get the first run out the way. It's awkward usually, unless you're a bona fide like Brock Lesnar type person. But Triple H went back to the old like let's give the first timers this run, and it takes a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? It took as long as it did for Damian Priest. Not that it took long, but by the time it was all said and done, I was like, okay, I kind of see where you're going at, and I like this for like I feel like I feel like you figured it out. So I was thoroughly impressed.
Did you see what Stephanie said?
The writing is training us to watch that, and that's the truth though. But that's why they bring in those television writers, because it's almost like we're looking for episodic. This is what you said, Brandon. We're looking for episodic TV now. McMahon was always a old school promoter. He was always a carny guy. He's always the greatest show on earth, big top guy. You know what I mean? Let's give the fans the greatest show right now, and then we'll just figure out the rest tomorrow. That's why we would get these big home runs and these big moments, and then Raw would make sense. Like Kevin Owens, going toe to toe with Stone Cold Steve Austin, giving him his last match, and then next day he's on Raw. Like, all right, Kevin Owens is massive right now. He got all this huge pop. He's got all this momentum, and he's in a storyline with Ezekiel, and we don't know who Ezekiel and Elias is. We're like, okay, cool. We're gonna let this, die off, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, they're still going with this. Thank God Triple H took over around that time. He got to go back to being himself in NXT. But the prize fighter finally got a main roster run, because that's kind of what his roots went back to. Like, let me go back to being who I was in NXT, because he really didn't. He had to evolve that when he got to the main roster. You can always tell when a guy's being forced to change is when you're wearing different gear from NXT to the main roster, because Big E used to wear different gear in NXT and then the main roster. I'm like, why does this gear look much smaller on the main roster? Because sometimes Vince like, good, I'm glad you developed. Now I'm going to make you what I want you to be, instead of a gradual continuation of what the fans already exposed you to. But so, but yeah, I think they do. What you guys thought stole the show, or or just what was your favorite match or moment on the card? I mean, it was loaded. You know what I mean?
That's hard to say, man.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I love that.
That is a good thing.
Yeah. Everything hit. Like Nia, I love the fact that she won the title, and she put Nia is showing her butt nowadays. I'm not gonna lie. She is doing her thing in the ring.
She definitely is. That's what Triple H said it though. He said at the presser, like, people wondering about her, but like, saying she's unsafe and why did you guys bring her back? But like, she's put the work in and she's performing at a high level. So what can you say now?
Facts. I don't know, man. That Damian Priest Gunther match might be the one that stole the show, honestly.
Yeah, like as far as wrestling is concerned, like everything else was like, like Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn was short, but that was a to be continued. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre was just cinema. That was just good old fashioned storytelling. You know what I mean? Cody Rhodes, we knew that was gonna be about. That was just a shenanigans. You know what I mean? Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, same thing. To be continued. You know what I mean? And we knew LA Knight was going to have his crowning moment. So
we had to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Maryland doing that thing again in Cleveland Brown Stadium. We own that stadium.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to the Miz who hosted it with R-Truth and his wife.
Yep.
Maurice got off the bus and R-Truth went crazy, but So
yep.
SummerSlam was fun.
Yes, very much. This is one of those big fours that felt like it was the big four.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like you were skipping. It felt like you could watch WrestleMania and this and be like, okay.
These are on the same level. Like this, okay, you got Mania, you got SummerSlam, it's like SummerSlam. One just a card, like it felt like, hey, this is the Mania of the summer. Mm-hmm. But that leaves us to this.
Imagine next year though. Imagine
2 days,
2 nights,
2 days.
Oh my gosh, this one can be crazy.
Both it's gonna be WrestleMania, the sequel.
They own one. That's what that means. They're like, yo, we're gonna get more people on the card, but they figured out a way where people won't get stale. You can get double the money. 2 nights sold out.
Right.
Like, come on now.
Yep.
It is.
So if you miss one night, hey, you can get a second. Cody Rhodes, the face that runs the place. No disrespect, AJ. He's been doing this thing. He's been everywhere. But now the original tribal chief, the one tribal chief, the only tribal chief, over the counter, has returned. And they finally got Roman to where they always wanted him to be, the biggest face in the company. And I was like, wait a minute. So you guys made him heel for 4 years just for him to come back looking sharp, looking lean, looking in shape. And now I was like, wait a minute. If he comes back, we don't know what version of Reigns we're going to get. We don't know if he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, or an anti-hero. We don't know. But that reaction that he got, I said, well, fans want it. And Cody Rhodes will tell you, the fans, they want Roman. Like, we know that. Like, we're here. We're there. We're going to make it happen, you know? And the fans will tell you. The fans will tell you. They want Roman. Yeah, and I get that. I get it. I'm well aware of the challenge. You know, but as me as champion, I got to figure that out, you know, but I think we got to do this again, though. That's just, you know, that's how Cody Rhodes talks. So, yeah, so I'm like, wait a minute now. See, that's Cody. So it's like my dog, Pharaoh. I get emotional talking about it. He was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So I love Cody Rhodes. So you got Cody Rhodes, you got get yourselves together.
That's why I had to be so you wouldn't hear me laughing. Like he was over there cracking up. But
Bro,
yeah, let's talk about Cody Raheem.
I keep seeing his hat though, like the birthday hat is killing me.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna take it off. It's just the dedication.
He's committed.
Trying to wrap up. But Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Who has to make this decision? Who has to say, okay? Because here's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Roman Reigns can't win the championship from Cody Rhodes. It's not possible because if he becomes the biggest face, he's going to get a bigger heel than himself. Like you're not going to find anybody that's going to like. Who are you going to get that you can get to just hate Roman so bad to make you go, yo, he might be Roman, and we hate him too. Like Roman's been the most hateable. We hate Roman so much that we started loving him. It's crazy just thinking about it. So it's well, they're both back. They're on the same show, sorta, kinda, maybe. Like
right now,
what you forgot something important. Roman is a free agent. He never got drafted.
That's true though, and that's Paul Heyman. He's gonna show up on Raw and become and beat Gunther. It's gonna be terrible. Oh man, he's gonna start another 1,000-day reign with that championship. You imagine if Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are your champions and they're traveling? Just print the money now. Print the money. No, they can't do that. They can't do that to my guy. Who is the face of the WWE at this point?
We know who the champion is. Selling all the t-shirts. The guy that's selling all the t-shirts. The guy that just came back. The guy who just sold 13, 16 belts. You know what I mean? 1,316 belts. Come on now. That belt is beautiful, by the way.
I saw a stat.
I stayed at that belt for about 40 minutes.
Wow.
Contemplating whether or not I wanted to spend 600.
You guys recognize the strap? The strap is the same strap as the Usos tag titles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was like, oh, that's pretty slick.
But better.
Did you see the tip?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was.
It's a lot of Samoan tribal vibes going on with that. But don't dodge the question. Who is Brother Hughes already made it clear. He says Roman Reigns. But I'm like, wait a minute. But Cody's making towns, make a wish. He's on credit cards. I got something to mail. Like, yeah, we have WWE credit cards now. Right? Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They said he made $1.5 million for WWE in a matter of an hour and a half or something like that. He said in 2.5 hours since his appearance. His stuff. I don't know if it's his merchandise or what it was, but they said Roman Reigns was responsible for making WWE $1.5 million in a matter of 2 hours. You different. Like that's business. When you're drawn on that level, that's a whole different ball game.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now we talked about Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes had made it clear, like, look, I'm worried about my numbers because he's always constantly comparing himself to when John Cena carried the show. He's like, no, you got to pay attention to these things. It's because like I said, he's like, I talked to John. And I asked him, like, John, how do you how do you manage this? He's like, well, your numbers are good, but they're not on this level. So, I knew I had work to do. That's Cody Rhodes again. So he's worried about he's paying attention to whether he's drawing or not. I don't think Roman Reigns is paying attention. He just shows up. The music plays.
That's it.
And print the money. Brother Brandon, what's going to happen in 2 months? What's going to happen in 2 months? You got 2 months. We're going to the fall season.
Mm-hmm. So
football season coming up. Pat McAfee's going to go away for a while. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Brother Brandon. What are we going to do? Who is the number one option for the play?
So this is what I was talking about before you hit the red light. I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H has learned from one of Vince McMahon's biggest mistakes. Triple H has learned that you could not have a bona fide
there you go.
one superstar in the company. He has learned that lesson because you have a situation where it's Austin and Rock. Austin get injured. Mm-hmm. The Rock doesn't have a challenger. John Cena, for how many years, was the guy. No matter how close Randy, Edge, none of these people got to that John Cena level, right? Triple H over the last year has shown us that there doesn't need to be a face of the WWE. There needs to be a WWE that has these superstars because he can translate anybody at any time into that top slot. Because let's be honest, remember when I kept saying, I just want to see Roman. I didn't care if he held the belt for that long. We just wanted to see him because we knew that aura, that spectacle of it. We had that same thing when it came to Undertaker, Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you name it, any superstar from yesteryear, Mankind, we wanted that aura. We wanted to see that person. Now, let's Rhodes disappear for a week. We're all going to be angry. Because me and him, not even realizing, we were angry we didn't get to see Jey Uso on Monday night. Because he's that much of a star.
I was ready to yeet on everybody.
He didn't yeet Baltimore. Right. Wait a minute.
I didn't get my chance to yeet on.
He did a
So now Triple H. So think about it. He's turning to the point that he can insert Roman at any time to do this. Sell $1 million worth of merchandise. He can change Cody Rhodes' shirt, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Seth. He could bring Becky Lynch back on a Monday night and sell $1 million worth of stuff. He got a Sammy, Braun Breaker, Gunther, all of these people that's coming up. And now we can put Damian Priest in that category. You got a Finn Balor, a Shinsuke that you didn't put in and out of these title pictures. He doesn't have a shortage of superstars where anytime, and let's be honest, we know Randy is that guy, right? We've loved Randy for years. He's never been the top guy, but now he's facing Gunther. We are invested. We don't care that he's on SmackDown. We don't care what's going to happen. We just know that's a perfect match for Bash in Berlin. If Cody's not in a match for Bash in Berlin, we got Gunther versus Randy that will carry that main event for Bash in Berlin. So do you need a face of the WWE? No. You need the WWE to have these superstars. And I hate to say it, Roman is a walking icon / legend because of the storyline he's had for 4 years and because of the crap that he had to do before that. Cody, same thing. For the last 2 years, he's rose to that icon level almost because of the crap he had to do beforehand. And every other superstar had to endure that. That's why we appreciate Damian Priest right now. That's why we love Rhea, because we saw Rhea in NXT UK. We saw her in NXT. And then we saw the crappy Rhea on Raw. And then we saw the Eradicator come into play. So now we appreciate that megastar in Rhea Ripley because of the crap that she had to endure. So now he's learned, guess what? I don't need a top star. And if you look at the marquee of the Raw, the SmackDown, the NXT, he keeps rotating these superstars on there because Jade Cargill is gone off the SmackDown marquee, but guess who was inserted? Bayley was on there. Now that Bayley lost, I guarantee you Nia Jax will be on there. How do you have a company that you care more about the superstars in the company than the word itself? Because Stone Cold and The Rock, they transcended WWE because of that's what Vince McMahon did. John Cena was bigger than WWE. People know John Cena for his ring work and then his Make-A-Wish.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, all that stuff, the crossover appeal. Now you got Cody out here shaking hands, kissing babies. You got Randy Orton out here signing autographs, coming to the ring, smiling, happy-go-lucky.
Randy Orton being
got
nice to people.
Exactly. You got all of these people, and I only named some of the roster. You get a WWE superstar anywhere. Look what the Fanatic series. They had WWE superstars outselling other athletes in the first day. Rhea and Cody sold out in the first day. How does Rhea Ripley, who was injured, wasn't even on LTV, sold out in one day? How's Becky Lynch book do so well on the first day? How did Mankind books do that well? Chris Jericho, he learned from the failures of Vince McMahon, and now he's made a product that we all can get behind, that we all can love. Roman Reigns could come out on Friday with a red shirt on that says OTC, and it will sell out in that arena if it's just an arena exclusive. Cody Rhodes could come. Like we saw people on Monday with Cody Rhodes jackets on. It's 90 degrees outside. But you weren't that $100 jacket. You brought.
I'm gonna wear my Cody Rhodes jacket. Right. I saw those jackets at the superstore. I said, wait a minute, they selling Cody Rhodes jackets?
So I think that the WWE, I think Triple H has learned, I don't need a face. I just need superstars that the people are going to want to see. Because I'm telling you, on Monday, we kept saying, when is he coming out? When is he coming out? When is he coming out? Rhea came out, they went nuts. Yeah. And it was like, oh, that's a better way to close it. Dang, I'm okay with not seeing Jay. But then when the YS6 came, and when the YS6 came, it was like oh my God, they're here. They could have went out there and did a clothesline for 5 minutes. We probably would have been loving it, eating it up, and all because he's made us care about those superstars. And that's why when you posed that question, it took me a minute. I said, how do I break this down? There is no face of the WWE. It's going to be the face of that moment. Who is the WWE superstar? Not the superstar of WWE.
Well, God dang, Brother Brandon.
Sorry, I know that was a rant.
No, that's what the show is about.
I was looking for the graphic. Brandon's barbecue graphic.
Like, what haven't happened now? We got to put that back up there. Like, we got to re-upload because that's it though. Like what you said was the truth, and I was like, wait a minute, you're absolutely right. And I mean, when I say I didn't even think about that, now I'm like, yo, no, that's legitimate. What it is because there's still a ton of names. Think about it. We're living in an era. I've never seen so many different looking main events the way we have. And like it has the same impact as the next match, whether it's a women's match, whether it's Rey Mysterio closing the show randomly, you know what I mean? Like him and Dom closed out SmackDown one day or Raw, whatever it was. And I was like, yo, and they really shut the house down.
And you pointed out with the qualified matches, we didn't know what to expect for the qualified match. Usually a qualified match is a foregone conclusion when you see who's in there. And you're like, wait a minute, Andrade won that? That was a great match though. You know, and it's crazy because we don't know what to expect, but it's all entertaining.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very insane way of putting it. And like I said, I couldn't have said it better myself, but I think we're going to end on that note because I was like, wait a minute, that's the perfect drop the mic moment and where you just end the conversation because it's the truth though. Because like you think about guys like Sheamus, and the crazy part is, yes, he is Steph. He can't hold his title for the whole show like you, but goodness gracious, he
definitely can't. That's the Hardy pose.
But it's insane to think about, but it's like, yo, he's right though. Like there's no other way around it. Like you go back, you watch the old, you know how we watch the old stuff. We go those rabbit holes. The main event scene stayed the same. There was a handful of players and that was it. But it always surrounded the same people. In this era, you get in the main event that's almost different dang near every week, and it doesn't have to be the same player. But that's how you sustain the lifeblood of your business. You know what I mean? That's how you keep your stuff fresh and exciting. Like, when's the last time you went to a show anticipating something? Like, we were looking for Jey Uso. Like, dang. Usually they don't happen because it's kind of rinse and repeat. You know what start. You know how the show's going to start. You know how it's going to end. You know where you get your breaks at. You know when this is coming on. But it's like Triple H has figured it out. They have intentionally. You can tell they've been there. It's because they have recognized in those spaces and they have filled in those gaps that have been missing. And like you said early on, it is made for compelling television. It's the little things. You know what I mean? They found a way to keep storylines going without it being stale. not giving it to us. Like, yeah, I think about how they kept Punk and McIntyre away from each other, how they avoided injuries. The feud never diffused and it never lost steam. First of all, they tell you out of sight, out of mind. When you're not on TV, you come back. It says it could be the death slot for a professional wrestler. These guys weren't on TV at all between injuries, and they just found these creative ways to make it make sense as to why they didn't get their hands on each other until SummerSlam. We talk about from WrestleMania, really before WrestleMania, because you know what I mean. That whole situation happened.
Yeah. He started with the T-shirts. Remember? I prayed for this your injury.
Before that, all the way to now, and I'm like, they just got their hands on each other, and it never felt like there was a drop off. It's because they were always utilizing little things like social media, promos. 1 week Drew will be there, next minute CM Punk was there. CM Punk might come back and then it's written off TV again, and it was these very violent exchanges where I'm like, okay, this all makes sense. But good gosh, shout out to the WWE, they figured it out. We're getting out of here. It is time to wrap this up. But man, I mean, god dang, we're trying to figure out who the face of the WWE is, and now they realize that it's not. We know Cody Rhodes is the champion, but you're right. He is doing what the champion is supposed to do. It doesn't mean necessarily there's only one face. Because Seth Rollins can come out there and shut it. And they're still developing new talent. They're still adding these new, like with Bronson Reed. I'm embarrassed that my city went nuts for Bronson Reed abusing Seth Rollins the way that he did. I said, Baltimore went nuts. He kept going up there. I said, I wanted this was a part of the script. Is this what they really came up with? He just kept going. And Baltimore got more. Brandon,
I hate that move.
Jonah. He hates Bronson Reed's finisher, but
that's how he falls on the top rope. I hate it. I was like, why does he keep doing it?
Bronson Reed is a player.
Hilarious.
He is a player, but and I was like, yo, this is how he created a new star. Because remember, like you said, Bronson Reed and Seth were supposed to have a match in Australia, but Bronson Reed, they both
that's right. That was he was supposed to have a world title match.
That's also how you keep Seth away from CM Punk and Drew.
Right. So once again, you put that it's going to come. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they're saving it clearly, but they're letting you know, like, let's make it very clear. But they told the audience with what they did, like, hey, look, how do you keep these guys away from each other? Because CM Punk had all eyes on Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre called attitude. He's like, y'all not even looking at me. I'm talking up here, and you're not acknowledging me. Oh, why don't you acknowledge this bracelet around my wrist with your wife and your dog's name on it? It's like we just looked at Seth Rollins and was like, I'll deal with you later, and then took off, and then Drew got out of there. I said, bro, that is crazy television. I was like, because it makes sense. Like that, like I would leave too. Because they wasn't paying Drew no mind. They had to show the world, listen, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, they hate each other. Like, and they're gonna show you how much they hate each other. He's not even worried about Drew anymore. He's like, bro, I'm not dealing with you, bro. I lost. It is what it is. I might have lost, but I feel good. I'm back. Whatever the case may be. He's like, no, you're not gonna ignore me, buddy. Because ignore this bracelet I got with your wife and your dog's name on it. And he was like, I want to fight.
No, he said stupid looking dog. That was the part I was like, oh, you insult this man, dog. You know the last person that insulted the dog, they got into all-out brawl out.
That was hilarious.
I was like, oh.
Bro,
I said, come on, Drew.
Drew McIntyre knew he hit a nerve because he got out of there. First of all, Drew McIntyre is 6'5", 270. When you run, it's like, oh, nah, I know a violent man when I see one. He got out of there. He's like, nah, I'm good. I have to build it. Adam Pearce like, bro, I walked him out the building. He's not here. Calm down. Crazy. He's gone. Good luck.
It was. And we didn't even get Ilyanov. And you know how I feel about Ilyanov.
Yeah.
We're going to get Ilyanov versus Brom. That feud is coming. It's not going to be a match. It's going to be a feud because he was backstage with Sammy. I said, yeah, you up next, buddy. That's going to be the next young gun. Next young gun feel like, there's always that young, like, these guys, like it was like you look at Macho and Randy in Steamboat WrestleMania 3, you know what I mean? Nothing was going to overshadow the mega powers of Hogan and Andre. That was just world colliding. And then it's like, cool, but there's this other feud that's going to be the one that keeps people's attention, Brett and Shawn for the IC title, while Hogan and them are Yokozuna and all of them kind of weaning out of that generation as the new generation takes off. It's always that young gun feud. Like I watched them have a match that might have been 2 weeks ago, that Raw before SummerSlam, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. God dang it. Wrestling is fun. It's hot. It's all over the place.
A lot of good stuff going on, man.
It's making you want to watch it that's why I said after the PLE, you're more excited about Monday and Friday now, not necessarily for the fallout, but because of the what's next. It don't necessarily be a fault because we were all wondering like, oh, what is Ray going to do? You know, oh, what is Drew going? You know, oh, what is it? It was so many things. Like, think about it. Are we going to get a queen of the? I mean, a coordination for Nia Jax and Bailey going to go berserker on her? We don't know. Is Naomi going to come get in our face? It's so many different things that could be so many aspects. We still got what's her name on SmackDown? Not Aladon and Alba Fire. No, what's the other young lady that got? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank from NXT that got called up. Yeah, Vlad Davenport. Is she going to come be the first challenger? We don't know. There's so many things that makes you excited.
When is Tiffany going to turn on Nia Jax?
There it is.
But that's another thing they still in. But to Hugh's point, you think they just gave her a pink briefcase to cash it in? That's going to be.
That's true. Yeah.
And not to mention, you forgot all about NXT. Said, "Oh, don't forget about us."
NXT's on the road, new channel. So there's an influx of veterans showing up in NXT, like we talked about earlier. Like Sean Spears having the time of his life, and then
perfect.
Kind of get a second run. Like he just fits there, but it works. It works. His presence works in NXT. It completes that circle versus what you might not get. But wrestling is insane. It's only going to get even worse. We got to get ready to get out of here. One last thing. I have one last prediction. This Royal Rumble, you will hear Joe Hendry's music, and he will come out. He will be in this year's run. I'm guaranteeing it. I know he's not in January, but I'm like, there's no way in the world that you have an upcoming Royal Rumble and Joe Hendry is not in that match. You're going to hear the music. You're going to see maybe. So yeah. Well, with that being said, follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon and Twitch and YouTube channel at The Wrestling Realm. You can follow Championship Culture on Instagram at Championship Culture _. Is that correct? I'm sorry. Is that right?
Yep. You got it.
Okay. I don't know why I thought I messed it up. Yeah. Championship Culture _. Go back and watch all of season 1, season 2. And as the brothers had alluded to, season 3 is well on the way. We thank you all for joining us. All that and more. Happy birthday once again to Brian H. Waters. There's a confetti again from Brother Hugh. There's thumbs up from Brother Brandon. And one more goodbye and one more from our special co-host, LA Knight. We out of here. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!